Obesity, a complex and prevalent health issue, demands a nuanced understanding and delicate approach in order for effective prevention and maintenance to occur. Good morning, my name is Nicholas Spanos, and today I'll be talking about mental factors and how they weigh in on weight loss success. Obesity is a chronic condition that involves the excess accumulation of body fat in an individual. According to the World Health Organization, as of 2024, obesity rates have tripled since the year 1975, leading to the increase in breast cancer, lymphedema, and type 2 diabetes. Now, while this issue is rather serious, the science behind losing weight is rather simple. In order for an individual to lose weight, their caloric intake must be below their metabolic rate, which means an individual needs to eat less than what they burn off, which is demonstrated in this graph right here, because when somebody eats less calories than what they burn, they lose more weight. However, although the science is simple, doing this is mentally daunting as it requires strict caloric moderation as well as physical activity. However, this shouldn't discourage anybody from taking action. In a story titled Through the Tunnel by Doris Lessing in 1955, it follows the tale of a young boy trying to swim through an underwater tunnel to prove his maturity and strength through high levels of perseverance. Just like patients struggling with obesity, they need to swim through their own underwater tunnel in order for success to occur. Which leads me to my research question. To what extent does mental strength and the level of perseverance in individuals struggling with obesity influence the maintenance of long-term weight loss success efforts? And my response to this is that addressing obesity doesn't just require physical aspects, but also requires mental attitude and high levels of perseverance in order to maintain it. My first factor is personalized approaches and sustained behavioral changes. In a study conducted by the University of Leeds, the Parker Institute of Denmark, and the University of Lipson, that gathered over 1,600 participants from both male and female from Europe and assessed and had them go through a digital toolkit in order to measure how well their motivational and disciplinary skills were. In this study, it showed that those who demonstrated higher levels of motivation went through the least amount of issues when it came to weight regain and weight loss success. In an article written by Jacopo Piccoli and several others in 2023, published by the Multidisciplinary Digital Publishing Institute, an institution that publishes scientific peer-reviewed journals from Basel, Switzerland, mentioned how a study conducted by Tübingen University Hospital gathered individuals of both genders struggling with obesity and educated them on motivational approaches, eating patterns, and other factors that are essential for weight loss success to occur. And it said that those who reported binge eating as one of their eating patterns showed the most significant and robust changes between weight loss and general psychopathology. And as you can see in this graph, in these pie charts right here, those who reported binge eating disorder had a higher chance of being diagnosed with depression and bipolar disorder. My second factor is the resilience and motivation. In a report written by Gussie Ngura, Eddie Petra, and 4 others published by Biomed Central, mentioned a study that had multiple healthcare professionals gathering men and women and measured their BMIs and resilience levels through tasks. And the study found that those who demonstrated higher levels of resilience were better able to cope with the weight stigma and discrimination. And as you can see in this graph right here, those who demonstrated above average BMIs had the lower amount of tasks completed, which means lower resilience. But those who had more normal BMIs demonstrated higher levels of resilience. In a 2024 report written by Sanjay Kora and a couple others, Southeast Asian doctors with PhDs in their own respective medical fields, they mentioned this thing called the binary model for weight loss, which basically states that there's 2 opposing motivational factors when it comes to losing weight: the fear of failure and the desire for achievement. They say that some individuals may be motivated to lose weight due to their fear of increasing health issues, and that others may be motivated for better health, which is the desire for achievement. My third factor is how people view themselves with their body weight. When it comes to viewing themselves, when it comes to losing weight, people often face challenges that question the way they view themselves and evoke fear. However, this can be tied into a famous quote from Franklin D. Roosevelt's inaugural address in 1933 when he stated to Americans that we have nothing to fear except fear for itself. This resonates in the context of weight loss because in order to lose weight, you need to be able to persevere and not be afraid to take action just because of the way that you view yourself. In a report written by Wojciech and two others from the Dove Medical Press, an institution that publishes scientific peer-reviewed journals from the United States, the United States, the United Kingdom, and New Zealand, mentioned how the lack of perseverance in obese and overweight individuals have been associated with the difficulty in inhibiting irrelevant thoughts or memories. This difficulty often leads to people having difficulty in controlling thoughts about eating and their body image, which in turn leads to less success in weight loss efforts. Stick also goes on to mention a study that gathered individuals of both genders and measured their levels of perseverance through tasks and measured each other's BMIs. And the study showed that those who asserted their body weight as too high demonstrated lower levels of perseverance than those who assessed it as normal, which suggests that subjective perceptions of body weight greatly influence an individual's ability to persevere in weight loss and manage efforts. There are a couple possible solutions and limitations to the obesity problem. One of them being to understand the necessary psychological steps needed for weight loss success, and another being to view the currently existing health concerns and know that they are overcomable. However, limitations to this is that people struggling with obesity may not be willing to change, or they may be satisfied with their own physical health. Which leads me to my chosen solution: to recognize the current health concerns that rely on those struggling with obesity and help uplift them psychologically in order to promote a more healthier and enjoyable lifestyle. This is how we're excited. Thank you.
All right, you have two questions for you. First up, what evidence did you gather that you didn't use, and then why did you choose not to use it?
I gathered evidence from a study from Biomed Central that essentially focused on the physical aspects of losing weight, but since my presentation is more focused on the mental aspects, I decided to exclude it since it wasn't necessarily part of my focus.
Okay, and what advice would you have for other people who consider this in the future?
My advice for other people in the future researching this topic is to know that obesity is a serious issue, but it is overcomable, and that when you research that issue, you need to know that the mental factors greatly outweigh the physical factors.